Welcome to Talking New York Real Estate with Vince Rocco. Our show is all about the exciting world of real estate and in particular, how it relates to the luxury New York marketplace. But if you are not planning a real estate transaction in New York, we still have plenty of information you can use no matter where you are. Now, here's our show. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Vince Rocco in New York, so let's get right to what everyone is talking about. Today on the show, buying or renting an apartment without ever going to an open house, stepping foot inside, or shaking hands with a realtor once sounded like a risky experiment, but in today's world, it's just business as usual. In New York City alone, where over 27,000 licensed real estate professionals compete for attention, young buyers and renters are doing it all from their phones, touring, signing, and closing deals without ever leaving their couch. Enter Clipster, the newest app aiming to redefine how we experience real estate. It recently launched, and today it's positioning itself as the go-to listing platform for our mobile-first, always-on generation. Also, Verify ID is a renter-first platform designed to put control back in the hands of renters. No more hunting through emails or PDFs for every apartment application. Verify ID lets users store all their rental documents in one secure profile, verify their identity, and keeping a complete application package ready at all times. When it's time to apply, renters can share their documents through a single, customizable link complete with password protection, traction, and instant revocation. Verify ID doesn't replace existing rental portals. It simply ensures renters are prepared, protected, and fully in control before submitting any application. And with me today from Clipster are Arlinda Dine and Eric Benane, and from Verify ID, Gabe Einhorn. And they join me now to discuss, but first, let me welcome my listeners and viewers from across the United States and all around the globe. This is Talking New York Real Estate, so let's go behind the headlines and inside the state of our industry.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
All right, good morning, everybody. We are back, and we are here today talking to, three dynamos, because we're going to talk about the latest craze in real estate, actually in all life, and it's called online applications, okay? We are finding that as we go through life here in New York real estate, actually anywhere in real estate, that most people are looking online. It's online everything. And now these two apps we're going to explain what these two new apps are going to do for you as users, as buyers, as sellers, as renters, and how you can better utilize technology these days online to get the job done, renting an apartment, buying an apartment, maybe even selling an apartment, and refer them all to your friends. Eric, though, I want to start with you. You said in an interview when you launched, over the last few years, tracking all the data, you started noticing a trend. People were making appointments over FaceTime, and they were actually doing transactions that way, and you found out that, this might work. Explain to us what you meant by that, and lead us into what Clipster is all about.
Sure. So, Clipster is a video-first listing platform. Think of it like TikTok meets Zillow. There's also a live part of the platform. So you can upload video. So agents would go on the platform, create a profile page, and then they can upload either their videos onto the platform or use the app to create videos, and customers or consumers can follow agents, can follow properties, et cetera. And when they do their search, let's say they're looking for an apartment on the Upper West Side, and if it's a rental for $5,000 or an apartment for $2 million, whatever the case may be, the consumer is getting fed the content as a video, and they slide through it like a TikTok reel, basically. And then they can follow agents, properties, whatever, and then that comes into their feed. And then also the agent can go live, so they can schedule a live. And so maybe you would do your, IRL open house from, let's say, 11 to 1. And then from 1 to 2, you could schedule your Clipster Live. And then on your Clipster Live, you could go live to one person or 100,000 people.
All right, so let's go back to basics,
Sure.
Okay? So that sounds like it's an amazing opportunity for folks. But what actually inspired you guys to create this app? What was it about how we've done business before, or what renters or buyers were saying to you, when you met them, that actually inspired you to create an online app to make all of this easy?
Well, Arlinda and I have been working together for about 14, 15 years now, and we've been tracking the market for, I guess, around that time. And so we started noticing a few things. We started noticing, people were making appointments to visit the units over FaceTime.
Yeah.
And so we started seeing more and more FaceTime requests. And even like agent friends of mine or whatever, they would go and they would do a FaceTime tour or sit down and take an application over FaceTime because people are just busy now. They're working, they're traveling a lot, whatever the case may be. And they don't want to just go to like 10 open houses.
Right.
So if they just schedule a FaceTime, they can do a FaceTime from their lunchtime or whatever and tour their apartment that way. And then if they like it, right, if it's for purchase, they can actually physically go to the unit and schedule an appointment that way. So we were seeing a lot of that. Also, at the same time, we were seeing that a lot of agents were now focusing a lot of their focus on social media like TikTok and Instagram, creating videos, requesting to create content in various projects. A lot of projects that we worked on, we were getting requests from agents, hey, I just want to create content in your buildings. Can I go? And so those kinds of things together, Arlen and I would talk about it.
I wanted to get to, the social media aspect of all of this stuff,
Sure.
But my first thought, though, is, going way back to the COVID pandemic, and hopefully we never go there again. But 5 years ago, I actually sold 2 apartments and rented an apartment, a very expensive apartment, without these people going to the units because obviously we couldn't show, right? We were stopped from, going on site, whatever, couldn't work in our industry. And I'll never forget, thanks to video, videos on our listings online. And, people call and then, I happened to have videos and some agents didn't. I didn't even do a FaceTime. I didn't even do, a Zoom or whatever. They saw the videos online, and because they were restricted from coming on site, they actually purchased 2 apartments in that building we were talking about earlier, over on the east side, and rented a very expensive one in another building. So, Arlinda, technology obviously has, changed in all the years that we're in this business. How does Klipster, improve the in-person experience? Like, people will say to me, can I really get an appreciation of what the apartment looks like without seeing it? Can I really get an appreciation by seeing it on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever? How is it a better fit for people when they really can, as Eric said, come to the unit for whatever reason?
Yeah, they definitely can come, and they most likely eventually will. I think what this does, as Eric mentioned, is people are busy. There's people that switch states. They go from one state to another.
Right.
And let's say I'm moving to Texas or from Texas to New York. I don't have time to come here apartment hunting. And first, I will go and I will want to see some sort of a video or a live, because I feel like in a live, it's a little bit different than just a video. You can communicate on Klipster. You can communicate directly with the agent. You can, whether it's on direct chat, or you can just comment on the live and you can say, can you please open the fridge? I want to see what the fridge looks like inside.
Right.
Things like that. So they're able to see really the full breadth of the apartment.
But how does it take away from the personal experience, though, of seeing something? I mean, maybe I'm old schooled or older or whatever, and I want to actually go and touch and feel and see. I mean, I have done things online. I mean, I think we all have. But does it take away from that personal experience? Do they actually have to come to the apartment, or has anybody done it like I just mentioned before, sight unseen, sign a contract, and move on?
No, it's definitely happened, and you've seen it in the press too. I think, I'm not sure if we haven't mentioned it here, but like Sylvester Stallone, for example, he bought a house in the Hamptons sight unseen. We also saw an apartment that I think Sirhan sold.
Townhouse he sold a year and a half ago, and for $57 million.
Yeah, and it was like I think it's some Italian guy or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You probably heard about that. But just going back to the personal touch or feel, we've noticed that about 70% of the buyers and renters are Gen Z millennials, and these guys don't really care that much about the personal touch. Not like we have a Gen Zer here, probably, so he can speak to that. But I think that everyone's so tied to their phones, and they are okay purchasing things online, really just about anything, including apartments, or at least renting apartments.
I agree.
And, the difference here is that you can actually apply directly.
I actually think, this app makes a lot of sense, actually, because there are people who are tied down. They're too busy. They can't get anywhere. You know, everybody wants to see something 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, hold on now, we can't do that. Okay, people live in their homes.
Exactly.
So this affords the opportunity for you to show them when it's more convenient for them.
Exactly. And then it gives them an extra step, like it gets one thing out of the way, right? You at least know whether or not you even want to make the trip to go actually see it in person.
Right.
And a lot of the time, as we've seen it, I worked on several projects in new development where we've had 60 applications a week go through, or a month or so, just through FaceTimes.
Talk to me. One of you guys mentioned, the tracking the behavior of the people through the data. How do you actually do that? How do you understand if somebody really liked what they just saw, or do you have to actually talk to them in person and find out, hey, did you like that, shoot? Did you like that, the video? Did you like that FaceTime experience? Whatever. How do you track their behavior?
On the app?
On the app.
On the app, it's basically through, if you're going live, so it's basically, we can track the comments that are coming through.
Got it.
And then the agent sees
That's remarkable.
Yeah, they see, I guess, their what do you call
likes
it?
and
Their
saves
likes
and
and saves
sends.
and I guess the data according to each listing. So just like you go on StreetEasy or Zillow and you could see what listings are getting more hits or what listings, we have the same kind of information.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabe Einhorn from Verify ID, or another great app. What inspired you to create this app? And what was the focus on, the renter first approach?
For sure. First of all, thanks for having me on. I got you a
I
hat.
saw that, and I love it.
You don't got to wear it now, but for
I
later.
can't. I'll mess my hair, but I definitely will wear it.
Same. That's why I'm not wearing it. But yeah, we were inspired from a process that me and my brother both experienced this summer renting an apartment. We're both looking for an apartment in the city, and we both struggled with, number one, getting all the personal documents organized. It was hard to find your tax returns, bank statements. And when you need a guarantor, all the more so, it's hard to get those guarantors' documents and keep them secure as well. That was a big pain point. Was my dad's like, I'm not sending my Social Security to some random broker via email. So we got home after missing out on 5 different apartments because, number one, we couldn't get organized in time. And number two, the security part, me and my brother were like, there's got to be a better solution for this.
Talk about the security, though, because I'm going to ask these guys the same thing, because everybody gets very concerned when we're talking about online anything, okay?
Yeah.
Look, we get all these spam text messages, somebody used your card. I mean, it's generally spam, but every once in a while you sit back and you think, is this real or not? Yeah. And how do I find out? Because I'm not calling the number that they put there for obvious reasons. But talk about the security aspect of your application, and are people fine with it? When you explain it to them?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we explain the security aspect, that's like the number one thing that people are like, that's what we need, security.
Yeah.
So we have a special cloud to store the documents so nobody could go and steal that data. So you feel comfortable that it's on your app. And then when it comes to transferring it, right, that's when everything kind of gets a little hectic, right? A broker saying, send me those documents via email. So we're trying to put the most security measures possible to avoid your documents getting into the wrong person's hands. So we have a password protection, we have OTP, we have 2-factor authentication. So like a little bit of everything to make sure that your personal documents are in your full control. You could track them. So if you send them to a broker and he sends them to someone else, you can track that and you could revoke it if you see that it's going to the wrong person. So at all times, you have full control of your documents.
So would you say that younger buyers and younger renters are really changing the way we do real estate here in New York? How they rent apartments, how we sell apartments, or are you on the cusp of making that happen?
So, I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, like with Clipster too, like that's changing the whole game. I think we're adapting to the new generation, social media, phones, like that's relevant. If you're not attacking that aspect, you're gonna fall behind. So we gotta figure out how to make that happen. And I think using all these tools will make the whole process more simple, more efficient, and really more exciting for everyone.
And you and I have talked off our air here about the importance of social media, and we'll get into that in a minute. But guys, over here on the Clipster side, explain, to us how, and to the viewers and listeners out there, how security is important in your application. Because again, everybody is very concerned about, is my information secure? Am I going to have a problem? Is there going to be a breach? On and on and on.
So we partner with, for the application process at least, we partner with a national application processing company, and so it doesn't. We don't really take your information when you decide to apply for apartments on the app. You get taken to a third party site that they take your information, and it's secured that way.
Are people comfortable making major housing decisions without, I think I asked you this before, without ever really seeing the property initially and then coming back for a second look to make sure that this is the right one? I mean, again, according to today's whatever, social media is everything. I mean, I've looked at stuff online and said, hey, I'd buy that. Hey, that looks great, right? We have a property that's upstate New York that Brown Harris is selling, and I've never been there. It's up in the Hudson Valley, but I look at this and I look at the floor plans, I look at the photographs, I've seen the videos, I've listened to the agent speak, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can probably buy that sight unseen. I don't have an issue with that. It looks beautiful. And we're talking, I can't afford it, but we're talking zillions of dollars, okay? A lot of money.
I think so. As Arlinda said, last year, Sylvester Stallone bought a $25 million house in the Hamptons while watching it on FaceTime twice. There was a townhouse about a year and a half ago that was sold in the Upper East Side for $57 million. Again, over FaceTime. We actually met with, about a year ago, we met with somebody from Gary Vee's office, and we were talking about the app, and the person started laughing in the middle of us pitching them our app, and we were like, oh, what's so funny? And the person was like, I was actually on TikTok, and I was scrolling through videos, and I see an apartment in the Upper East Side, and I wasn't really in the market for an apartment at the time, but I liked the apartment so much, I ended up buying it.
My point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Talk about, Arlinda, how you guys see Klipster changing the way, consumers are doing real estate today, whether it's a rental, whether it's a buy. How is it changing? And what do you guys foresee as the future in change for this application and for our industry?
Yes. So I think this is changing in terms of the industry. I think that, as you see more and more on TikTok and Instagram and other social media platforms, a lot of the agents are becoming more just, they use social media more to show their apartments. A lot of them have become influencers. You've seen the shows that are on Netflix. And I think what Klipster is going to be able to do for them is allow them to build a bigger audience that is on an app that's very real estate focused, right? So you can be a social media influencer or a real estate influencer on TikTok, for example. But there's so much different content on there that you get lost in the mix. So if you're a broker and you want to really be an influencer and really make it in the social media world, Klipster is it for you, because all of it is having to do with your home, whether it's doing neighborhood tours, you can do what the newest restaurant that opened. You can really, and you won't get lost in the mix. And in terms,
hey, Rocco's Steakhouse is right around the corner here.
Exactly.
Just saying.
And then the other thing in terms of the consumer side, people scroll a lot on platforms, on TikTok, and they see a lot of beautiful real estate. But again, you're scrolling and then you see someone doing their hair, their makeup. No offense to that. I love it. That's where I learn all my stuff. But
me too.
Yes. But if you're specifically looking for real estate, Klipster is it. As a consumer, you go in there and you scroll. And a lot of the time, people just scroll for real estate because it's a lot of fun.
Now, there's a hard sell. So we're going to take a break. Coming right back after these messages. We have a lot more to talk about. This is Talking New York Real Estate on the More Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Gabe, again, from Verify ID. When you are out there talking to the consumers or renters or whomever, your customers, what feedback are you getting? Are you getting positive feedback? Are you getting, yeah, that's right on, and this is really helping me, or I really like what you can do for me, or otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a mix of feedback. I think when you're going out to customers, consumers in general, people don't like to tell you the truth to your face. So people are more likely to just say it's great before they say, oh, I think this might be a problem. So I think it's important to talk to people who you trust that will give you honest feedback as well, which gave us a lot of good ideas, how to improve the app, how to really focus in on the security aspect. I think the security and the organization were the two most important aspects that people said, oh yeah, when I'm renting an apartment, number one, I want to make sure those personal documents are secure. I don't want someone just having my social security. And second, the organization, because in New York City, you got to close an apartment. If you apply, you're going to close within 24 hours, right? So you got to get all your documents ready to go as soon as possible.
Who are your customers predominantly? Are they brokers, agents, consumer, or a combination of all of the above?
So our app is for the renter, but of course we got to get the brokers and landlords on board. They're the ones that deal with the renter. So if we tell the brokers and landlords, hey, this is an app that it's free for you guys to use, and it will make the renter's life easier as well as the broker and landlord's life easier. So if they're on board with it, they're more likely to tell all the renters that come, hey, sign up for this app before you come check out the apartment.
And how does Verify ID exist with the current rental portals? How do you do that?
Yeah, so the one thing that we're trying to focus on when we're speaking to the brokers and landlords is we are not trying to replace brokers. We are not trying to replace portals. We are giving the renter an application, a profile, before they even go check out the apartment. So they are ready to go before everything even starts.
Okay, on your side, guys, Clipster, from an industry perspective, how are your customers viewing this? Okay, both new applications, you guys are, doing really well as well as Gabe. What is the perspective of the consumer, of the agents out there who are now introduced to Clipster? What are they perceiving and how do they feel about the application?
So we launched at the New York City Real Estate Expo.
Recently,
Yep,
yeah.
So like 3 weeks ago. I think our booth was like the biggest hit of the expo. We so far have about 1,000 agents on the platform.
Wow.
Over 3,000 listings, and the response has been really great. We did. You talked about, I think, research or whatever with Gabe, and about a year ago we had help actually from Bess, and we met with a bunch of agents over here and several
Bess
other
Friedman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we had we did a bunch of focus groups with a bunch of agents from here, from other companies, and a lot of people were like, you know what? We do post listings on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, but we're competing with like somebody doing makeup or a restaurant or whatever the case may be, and we kind of like the idea of having a platform where it's real estate first. Even Bess was like, Eric, I would love to see a section which we don't have, and we're actually having meetings about it, where it's just like up like higher level luxury. Right. So right now, the platform is separated.
You're reading my mind. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that was an idea we got from Bess, right? She's like, we really need.
I didn't know that. I was going to ask you about Luxurine, but go ahead.
Yeah. So right now we have a section you can search either clips, right, and it's just like videos that's based on like what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You can search rentals or sales, right? And we don't at the moment have like a luxury portion of that. But when Beth said that to us a few weeks ago, we were like, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. We didn't really think of it, and we're actually having meetings about it now.
Listen to Bess.
Yeah,
she knows what she's talking about. Looking forward, though, you launched a couple of weeks ago. It was a big success. You're rolling down the road, as they say. How do you see prop tech, in general, propelling or reshaping our industry? Because as I said in the intro, we are nowhere without technology these days. We're nowhere without social media these days. And the assist and the help that it gives us in real estate is monumental. And I don't think a lot of people are realizing that, especially agents in our community. Do you really feel like property tech and all these new apps are going to move us forward? I mean, I come from the .com era, if you remember the .com era back in the 90s, where everything was .com, right?
I still have an AOL email address.
I don't. but there you go. Okay, it's like brand new, everything online now. And I used to say to myself, what are they talking about online? Yeah. Really? Okay, come on now. But look at where we are.
Yes.
So where do you see it going? Not just your app, but any and all, new apps in technology, in real estate based on technology. Where do you see this moving to?
You know what? I've been in real estate now for 24 years. And one thing I know
One more
about
year than me. 23 for me.
Okay. And so one thing I noticed about real estate with regards to tech, we've been way behind a lot of other industries, and so there's a lot of catching up to do, and that's with everything, not just in our sector, which is like a marketplace or listing platforms, but with everything, with technology in buildings, with technology in everything. We kind of saw, Arlinda and I saw that when I first started in real estate, the way I marketed listings was either Craigslist, or if it was a nice listing, NewYorkTimes.com.
That's very true.
And then about 20 years ago, StreetEasy came, and then Zillow, and then Apartments, and Trulia, and all these other platforms came. But those platforms haven't really changed much in 20 years. But what has changed is the consumer, both the consumer and also the broker.
But yeah, correct. But also the Gen Z, as you referenced it earlier, they're kind of pushing, and I love this. They're kind of pushing for that next step. They're pushing for that change. Are you seeing the same thing on your side of the fence with Verify ID, that younger folks are adapting to this faster or quicker than people my age? And I'm all over it. I mean, I think it's a great idea, but talk about that a little bit, because that is your generation. You're creating for them in addition to creating for all of us. Same with these guys, right?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we're targeting everyone, but to just jump on how prop tech is going to affect the real estate industry, Eric mentioned Gary Vee before, so it got me a little excited. I love Gary Vee. One thing Gary always says, technology is undefeated and social media is free. So
I say social media is free all the time.
yes, technology is undefeated, social media is free, and real estate is behind in both of those aspects.
Holy cow, I got to remember that. Remind me later, I'm going to write that down.
Write that down. I stole that from Gary Vee, so it's not mine. But he always says it.
He's awesome, though.
He's the best.
It's worth copying.
Yeah, so I think real estate's definitely got to pick it up. We're behind in all those aspects. And we're targeting that Gen Z. So we want that Gen Z. We want to assist you in renting your first apartment. You might not even know how to find your W-2 or your bank statements, your tax returns. So we want to add that educational aspect to teach those young college kids or the kids just out of college to help them, because, I mean, technology is everything.
Technology is everything. We're going to get to social media in our last block, but thinking about what you've created, guys, and thinking about, where you want it to land, and thinking about the people who you need to get excited behind it to make it really work. Who are these people? Are they also agents and consumers, Gen Z, millennials? It applies, in my opinion, to everybody. But when you look at this and when you're thinking about, what are the next stages and next steps and whatever, what goes through your mind? I mean, what you've come up with is incredible. And I love the changes to real estate because, I've been in the business, 23 years, and it's been so staid. It's not really changed. Mm-hmm. And everything we do is kind of old. And, the listing system databases that we use, it's kind of like, come on, guys, really? Can't we do something better than that? Can't we add a few things more to that? What gives? What? You've been in the business a long time. What do you think about currently and where you would like to take this somewhere down the road?
I think currently there's a lot of catching up to do. And you're right. The industry hasn't, unfortunately, adapted or progressed
at all.
I mean, you go on whatever CRMs your people use or everybody uses, or even back ends of most websites, most like company websites or any kind of tool you use. It hasn't really progressed as to where we see this going. I mean, so our vision for Clipster is, you said there was 29,000 real estate agents. 27,000 real estate agents.
Yeah.
In New York City, there's about 1.5 to 2 million around the country. And one thing that real estate professionals, agents, brokers are really good at is just selling. And so, you walk into an apartment, you're showing a unit, for example, to a client, and what do? You walk in and you're like, oh, this is our Pogue and Pole kitchens and our, Sub-Zero refrigerators and stuff like that. So imagine doing a live now, and as you're doing the live and you're doing a walkthrough, an AI picks up what the product is, so whether the kitchen or whatever, and now the consumer
We're going to get to
can
that in a
see
second,
and they can purchase it, and then the
true.
agent gets like affiliate marketing. So like if somebody like I go on platforms, I go on StreetEasy and Zillow and places like that all the time, right? I just like to see how people design their apartments or units or whatever like that. And how many times do you go on and you want to see how you could buy something? So we see like the next phase of Clipster is where agents get referral fees from people buying things through the app, basically.
Okay, well, that's big.
Yeah.
So talking about AI and talking about augmented reality and continuing to change, the way we search for stuff, do you agree that it's like the future or the immediate future?
Absolutely. AI is, everything right now. And even with creating content, for example, on our app, let's say you're an agent that wants to use our app, but you don't really want to create content, you don't want to create video, you're not that type of person. We have the ability to, through AI, if you just put your listing up and you put the images on there, we are able to create a video for you. So you can have the listing up there. A client can contact you directly through our app. They are also able to see the video, which will be created by our app through AI. So basically, that's AI for you, where it helps someone who is not really video ready or doesn't really want to be doing content like that.
But doesn't AI scare people? I mean, I can go on record as saying I understand it, I appreciate it, I embrace it. And Greg was showing me a video this morning when we were having coffee. One of our directors here, an AI generated video, and I thought, holy shit.
Look real.
Look real. It sounded real. I mean, if I didn't know it was AI generated, and I'm not going to get into what it was all about, but I just sat back and said, okay, another sip of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, getting on that whole AI bus, are people afraid of it? I mean, I'm not afraid of it anymore. I use it, but it's kind of like, whoa, I
Right.
think it's getting a little too ahead of us, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
No, it's
No,
okay.
no.
I think that in general, if AI is used for the right reasons, I'm not so scared of it. There are definitely some scary things out there with AI. I have too seen some videos
Yeah.
on TikTok where I'm like, because I think people unfortunately get misinformation or get misinformed through AI,
Right.
AI content. But for us, for example, we're trying to use it for responsibly, obviously, but also to help the agents. It's really for us as just a tool to help the agents
It's a tool.
just get to the next level with the content so that they can actually sell their listings easier. Because as we said before, we're so behind. Everything, all the platform websites are so, listing platforms are so one-dimensional. And we, no shade to them, but we just want something more because customers want
One
more.
dimension is passe.
Like,
no good.
right?
Done. Been there, done that. I can say that. They don't want to be not, whatever.
Okay, you can say it. Yes. you
Gabe,
say
so
it.
for Verify ID, do you see AI helping at all, advancing your agenda or not?
For sure. I mean, 100%. I think AI right now is the most powerful thing we have. If you're not utilizing it, you're going to fall way behind. We had a couple AI ideas when we first came up with the product. It wasn't an essential aspect. And then the last month or so, we've been having real conversations with people in the market, owners, brokers, and that's when we've been getting our best feedback. And just this Friday, we got an amazing feedback on an AI tool that we didn't think of. But essentially, we have all your documents are stored in the profile, all your personal documents, bank statements, tax returns. But the other aspect of the application is the application form. So every landlord has different application forms. And a lot of people don't want to do that busy work of filling out, 5, 10, 20 pages of application forms where it's redundant stuff where you're just filling out your name, your address, your signature. So uploading your application form into our profile and then having AI automatically fill it out with the information you already uploaded in there because you have your personal documents. So it has your name, your signature, your address. So adding that last aspect would basically complete the entire folder. And now you have an all-in-one application folder in our profile, and you could send it to the broker.
That's a good
Sweet.
idea. You need to do that for medical forms. I hate doing all those applications and doctors.
Oh my God, that's a great idea.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. This is great for what you're doing currently, on the rental side or whatever. But think about what Eric, just kind of whispered to you out loud.
W-2s, W-4s.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, I can see your future.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's noted for later.
it's noted for later. But here's the thing, though. So this digital everything, okay, and we work and live in big bad New York and whatever, big loving New York, whatever. Does this kind of stuff apply nationwide? Your application, can people who sell in California, in Florida, in Arizona, in Michigan, whatever, can they take advantage?
100%. So we launched in New York Metro 3 weeks ago. We're looking to launch in South Florida by the end of the year. But already we have several people, I think in Indiana, Colorado, Tennessee. We have not that many, but we have a handful of people in these states and people are making like Instagram or TikTok videos. Oh, look, check out this great new app and stuff like that from
Give it a shout out.
Yeah, from different states. And yeah, I definitely think that that it's going to be well received across the country.
And what about Verify ID? Well received outside of New York City? Appreciated outside of New York. Look, the rental process, the buy process, a little different everywhere, even right up here in the suburbs, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey, Westchester County. But your stuff still works.
Yeah, for sure.
Could still work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest pain point for the rental market is definitely the New York City market, especially because of the speed that it moves here.
Yeah.
In New York City, it moves the
Or
fastest,
it doesn't
right?
move at all.
Yeah.
Right.
But in regards to renting an apartment, it could get picked up within a couple hours of you touring it. Someone else might have picked it up if you didn't apply within 2 hours. So outside of New York, I think the speed part is not as applicable, but I think the overall security, the storage, the preparation is still relevant to any rental market across the country.
How easy is it to use your application?
We made it very simple. I mean, we tried to keep it as simple as possible for any given person to use it, right? A kid could use it, an adult could use it, great grandma could use it who's never used any social media or any application. So it's very simple, very seamless. We tried to walk you through all of the process as easy as possible.
We're changing the whole home search arena, right? And we're incorporating AI where it makes sense. And we're using Verify ID to be able to supply your documentation. Thoughts about, exciting thoughts about where we have come from and how clogged we used to be to where we are today and the reception you're getting today and where we're going in the future. What else? I mean, what else could we possibly come up with to make, because I really believe that the home search way we do things today is really bad, really, really bad. So give us, 2 minutes of why we need to use Clipster. Sell me on why Clipster is going to help us change the course. I'm thinking about, and same for this guy, how we're going to change the course of what we do in real estate every day.
Sure. So, I'll give you a couple examples. So, one example is the video first platform. A lot of consumers, a lot of real estate professionals, as we all know, they hire a professional photographer. They touch up those photographers. The photos look a lot different on the photo than when you actually go. Video is more real, right? Video is more real, and also lives is more like you really get a feel for the listing or for the home through a video or through a live. So that obviously changes a lot of things. Also on the broker professional side, you could be more authentic. Brown Harris, for example, is luxury, it's rich, it's like historic, right? So they'll have their own voice. But somebody else maybe there's somebody who's just funny and likes to be very comedic with the way they show their listings, right? So they can have their voice.
Personality,
thank you, right? And so you can, as a real estate professional, you can, I guess, show off your own voice and your own brand on the platform. And the same thing on the consumer side, you can search and you can look at videos or lives in a more real way. But another way that we're in the works of right now, New York City, for example, with affordable units. I'm sure you're familiar with the application process as a lottery. And there's 100,000 people, let's say, go to 1,000 units, right? You need 100 per one, right? For every affordable unit, you need 100 applications for one. So now imagine there's 1,000 unit, I'm just picturing this, 1,000 unit building. That means 100,000 applications. 100,000 applicants. That means the developer has to have a huge team of showing everybody the unit. But now imagine all the work that the person who has to apply take a day off their time to go actually visit. On Clipster, you can go live and a person you could show everybody, 100,000 people in one shot. And you could schedule it on their lunch hour, right, where they're not having to take a day off of work, not have to travel. And so we see that as also a huge benefit down the line.
For Verify ID, okay, can landlords and brokers access the documents, or is it just for the consumer to pull their information, once it's in, to pull it back or to look at it?
Yeah, so anyone could access the documents. The whole point is for the renter to have the documents ready to go, and then you could customizably share it to whoever you want, whether that's the broker or the landlord, whoever's running that process. You could share it with them. Only they have access to it. You could add a password protection to add a level of security, but it's all they don't even need the app. So the renter, the broker, the landlord doesn't even need the app, right? If they want to sign up, they could sign up for free, but it's free for them to receive all those documents from the renter.
Do you think the real estate industry will actually really become almost 100% virtual someday?
No, I think real estate's a physical thing. So we could add all these great features to make it.
So there'll always be human touch somewhere.
Yes, because you're moving into a physical apartment or a physical house. Yeah. There has to be that physical aspect.
But the process, though?
The process could be very seamless. If you have a full application that goes online, that you have all your documents ready to go, you go on Clipster and you could upload all your documents there, and you get an apartment, you sign, and you go tomorrow, and you have a new apartment, and you never even touched it.
It's like the online board packages these days. How many years did we suffer with board packages, standing at the
Stack
copier,
this
making
back.
nine copies of whatever, and now everything is on board package or whatever the new name is. I can't remember. And I'm like, okay, so we're moving in the right direction.
Correct,
right?
yes.
Do you guys feel like we'll ever be really totally 100% virtual in this digital world, or we're going to still have human touch somewhere along the line?
I think so.
No, we definitely we won't lose the human touch. I think we need the human touch, but I think Clipster is a tool and a way to help the process to make the process more seamless. Exactly. And I think it's helping everybody, the consumer, the developer, the owner, the broker, and it's making it easier, like Eric said, for a lot of reasons, right? Like whether it be you don't want to take the day off or whatever. But we're humans, right? We're not trying to make everything AI. So.
No, and as I said in the beginning, we're not looking to take the human aspect out of anything. These are just
we just
additions
want to make it easier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the word real estate has real in it for a reason. It's something real that you can touch, and I think you always need that human touch.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to come back for our last block. Right after these messages, we're going to talk about social media. Don't go anywhere.
This podcast is supported by the More Network, powered by Brown Harris Stevens. Real estate touches every aspect of our lives, from design and architecture to investing and the economy. Now there's a way to get all your real estate information in one place, the More Network. With more than 20 podcast and webcast series, the Mastery of Real Estate Network is powered by Brown Harris Stevens, one of the country's most distinguished brokerages. Discover advice from notable entrepreneurs, compelling topics, and access to top global real estate experts. Subscribe to their YouTube and Apple podcast channels by visiting GetMoreNetwork.com.
Gabe, let me ask you. That was quick. Let me ask you. So, you happen to be really big and whatever on social media, and you and I recently were talking about how you utilize LinkedIn quite extensively, where most of us do not, from a social perspective.
Yeah.
Explain to us what the impetus was for you to get out there using a different app than most people would for selling your wares, selling your business, introducing who you are, etc.
For sure. So, I mean, I was on LinkedIn probably 3 years ago. That's how I got my first job. I downloaded LinkedIn. I wanted to work in real estate. And I said, okay, I'm just going to connect with as many people in real estate as possible, send them a message and say, hey, my name is Gabe Einhorn. I want to work in real estate. Can I get a job? Ended up getting my first job from that. So I saw already there it's pretty powerful. And then I started using it to message people. It gives you an opportunity to get in touch with people that you might not find their contact information online, people that own companies, own a lot of buildings. So I was able to get some contacts there, close some deals from just messaging. And then I'm going to give Gary Vee another shout out because he's my mentor basically. But I was listening to a podcast last November of him, and he said, LinkedIn is the last untapped social media market. It's underpriced attention is what he said. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to commit to posting every day. I'm a little bit insane sometimes. So when I commit to something, I'm going to go all in. And so I said, I'm going to commit every single day from December 1st. I'm not going to miss one day. And it's been 11 months now. And
yeah, and when you were telling me about that, I sat there, and I have a lot of respect for him for what he's doing. And I'm like, LinkedIn? Okay, is he for real? Whatever. Until I went and I looked and I thought, okay, I get it. What do you guys think about social media in general? How it helps us propel ourselves, brand ourselves and get ourselves out there, but also for our business, and now for your new app, Clipster. How do you visualize utilizing the social media platforms, all of them, not just LinkedIn, to advance your business and look to continue advancing you all as real estate professionals, right? I mean, I use it quite extensively because it helps the show, it helps business, it helps a lot of things. And it's free, as Gabe said before. It's free.
So I think you go, but I think on like Clipster, for example, when you have a list and a professional, a real estate agent or broker or developer has their page and they upload their listing from their page, they can share it across all social media platforms. So just like on TikTok, you can share whatever you're uploading, you can share it across everywhere. You can do the same thing on Clipster. Same thing with the live. So if you go live, you can simulcast it across LinkedIn, across Facebook, across like other platforms. So everybody, when you're doing live, everybody who follows you on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever sees that live at the same time. So that's how kind of like I see, what do you call it, a lot of the social media platforms. Arlinda's really into a lot of social media platforms also. I'm into LinkedIn and Instagram. Arlinda's probably
more TikTok.
She's a TikTok person.
I love TikTok.
You're a TikToker?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to TikTok.
I've become a TikToker. I can appreciate it.
I was a TikToker during the pandemic, and I made like a lot of those voiceovers.
Way back then?
Yeah, way back. But then I never really fully, expanded on it. So I just I could have totally become something, but I didn't.
Still good.
It's fine.
You still could, right?
It's fine. It's a good. But
Well,
yes.
all right. So again, for the listening audience out there, the viewers out there, why TikTok over Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blah blah? I mean, there are so many of them these days. What about TikTok? And then I'm going to ask this guy who's also big on TikTok. Why?
I don't know. I think the way that the page, for example, the video is like full page. It's when you scroll. I think one.
It is incredible. I do like that. Yeah,
I love that. I think that my algorithm's so like good in there that like I get all the stuff that I want to get. I feel like it's easier to search.
I totally agree.
It's easier to make a video if you want to make something funny or
we
whatever.
talked about sizing before. There were no sizings on TikTok.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah,
Send it
so
out
it's
there.
like everything's so much easier with that. And I think there's just I feel like Instagram Reels versus TikTok. Like Instagram Reels are just like more professional kind of vibe.
Instagram Reels annoy me.
Yeah, I don't even know how to like reel. They
don't fit right.
Yeah, so I like there's just less text on TikTok, and you're just like scrolling, and my algorithm knows me.
Well, my finger hurts sometimes.
Yeah, because I'm just doing this, whatever. Isn't there like an auto scroll with your eyes
I
or
don't
something?
know.
Maybe you should make that. Like,
really?
like lift up your eye.
They don't want my eyes.
Eyebrows or something.
right off the page.
You always roll your eyes, so you can be like,
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Wax poetic, please, for us about TikTok, because you are also very big presence on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I think TikTok is the best place for you to grow if you don't already have an audience, because you've seen people that go viral if they only have a couple followers.
Yeah.
TikTok judges it based off of the content, not based off of your following.
Yeah.
So you could get on TikTok right now, have 0 followers, but if you think of a really good idea and you post a really good video, you can get thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to see it, which it just rewards the effort you put into the content, not your already, standard of I already have 1 million followers, so all my stuff get views.
The interesting thing about TikTok, one second, Eric, the interesting thing about TikTok, I agree with what you just said. I mean, when it first started, everybody was dancing and jumping around, and I'm like, all right, enough with the dancing, okay? You can't dance, so don't even try. Number one. Then I started seeing a lot of, real estate stuff popping up. And I got to tell you something, the real estate presence on TikTok is phenomenal. Whether you're renting something, whether you're selling something, whether you want to buy something, I mean, it's all over. And as he just said, the amount of views these people get are staggering.
Yeah, I mean,
and I attribute it more to Gen Z than anybody else,
100%,
which is a good thing.
100%. I mean, we mentioned earlier today that somebody who we met with from Gary Vee's office, he literally bought an apartment off of TikTok.
Yeah.
But what, like Gabe said earlier, I mean, the advantage with TikTok when it first came out, not that many people were going on it, and they were growing their following really quickly. And so I think that's the same advantage real estate professionals have in Clipster. They can download the app, create a profile, create whatever video content matches their personality, and then they can grow a following that way.
100%. And I was going to follow up with that, saying, when I teach social media, and I always say, before you want to get out there on social and put yourself out there on social, whether from a professional perspective, more for a professional, but even from a social, you have to brand yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to know, and I ask the question all the time, and my viewers are getting sick and tired of me saying it all the time, who are you and what is your why, right? Because if you don't know who you are and what your why is, you can't brand yourself. You don't know who you are, so how are you going to put you out there if you don't even know who you are? How important, though, is it, especially in our profession, to stand out? 27,000 agents we talked about. I don't want anybody out there to talk to any one of those 26,000 others or 27,000 others but me, right? Because I'm telling you I'm the best that there is out there. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. How do we do that? And how do we make social media work for us in our new apps here, in our real estate profession, and just for us in general? Miss TikTok over here, right? Got it knocked. Why is that important?
I think it's important because the people that follow you want to know who you are. They want to know what differentiates you. If they're going to
Authentic you, not who you're presenting in
exactly
a phony way.
Well, exactly. I mean, that would be ideal, but though I do see that doesn't happen a lot of the time,
right.
Unfortunately. But I think that people that are following you, if they're going to spend their 30 seconds on you, they'd like to know a little bit about you. They'd like to know what your deal is, where what makes you so interesting, right? And then, I mean, I think it goes as far as like if someone's looking for an apartment and they want to work with you, let's say like a buyer's broker, I think they want to connect with you. You're going to spend a lot of time with them. You're going to talk to them.
And
you're
spend a lot of money.
Exactly. So like they want to know that they can vibe with you as opposed to like you're just like, whatever. Like, listen, everybody's got their own thing and everyone's got their own vibe, right? But like I'm just saying, like I think people care to know because they want to make, when they make a choice to work with you, they want to see what you're all about.
100%. I mean, and I can't think of two better people to push a new application, Clipster, than you two, because you've got to have that passion and you've got to be behind it 100% authentically, where people say, I can buy what they just told me, buy the concept of, because they're believable. And for you, the same thing with your app. You are very present out there in social media. What drives you, Gabe, when you're thinking about what platform you should post on or what you should post? A lot of your remote stuff is really good, actually hilarious. But what inspires you to do some of these things? And what really is your goal out there? I think you've definitely identified who you are and put it out there. But what do you think about when you're thinking, all right, what do I do next? What am I doing tomorrow? What about this or what about that? What is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, there's billions of people on social media.
Yeah.
So the number one thing is you got to stand out. People have to recognize you and think of you for whatever it is that you do. So going out and holding up a sign and doing a little bit of crazy stuff, it's a way for you to stand out when most people wouldn't do it. I don't even like to do it sometimes. It's a little, nerve-wracking, but I force myself to do it and get uncomfortable to stand out and be different. People think of me, oh, you're the guy who held up the sign. You're the guy who posted that.
He recently held up a sign that says, you want a job?
Yeah, I was trying to make
need a job or
LinkedIn
something?
In real life and help people get jobs. So
well, listen, but he got attention, right?
Yeah. And I think...
and what was the goal with that? To drive what?
Yeah, so the goal with that was LinkedIn obviously has helped me grow my presence. And LinkedIn is technically a job platform. That's what it was originally made for. So
Correct.
I thought, okay, I now have 15,000 connections on LinkedIn. Would I be able to help at least one person in real life who needs a job, find someone in my LinkedIn network that I could connect them with and find them a job? And from there, I had probably 20 people reach out and message me their resume, say, oh, I want to get in touch with this guy, he's in your network. And all I have to do is just make a message with a group chat with them three and say, hey, this guy's looking for a job, he's great. You might have an opportunity, connect, and that's it.
Eric, we talked about, everything that Clipster has or is. We talked about, the industry, how would you like us, lay people who are not creating applications to help you sell your application? What can I do for you to get that word out there? Because I do believe in this, and I think that this is very important. I've been one for years that said, we're kind of like sleeping when it comes to tech in real estate, even though everybody says, no, we're not. We got the best tech in the world. And I keep saying, where and what is it? Because I don't see it. What can we do to better get your word out there? Again, you identified not just here in New York, but nationwide. What is it I can do? What is it other people can do to kind of talk up? How can you two work together, which is going to be my next question, to get these applications out there in a very big way? I think we're searching for stuff, and I think we're searching for answers, but not that many people are coming up with those solutions at the moment. What do I do?
Download the app, create a profile, either upload or use the app to create video. And get the word out. Share that content across all your social channels, and get the word out.
I can do it for my listings, right?
You can do it for your listings.
Okay, you'll show me how to do it.
I will.
Thank you.
We'll give you a white glove service.
We'll create
serious.
videos. Absolutely.
I want to do it.
100%. Yes.
Is that all I can do?
Yes, and then talk to your peers about it. Everybody knows you. Like, I don't think I can ever say your name with someone not knowing who you are.
Oh, him again?
I know, that guy. I always refer to you as my old boss, so.
Oh, I wasn't your boss. You were my boss, right? I'm like, okay, she's telling us what to do again today at 20 whatever years old.
I guess I've never changed.
This is why I love you. Are you kidding me? You were a blast to work with. What can we do to sell your application? I mean, obviously, we know now after hearing, what it's all about. What can we do to get it out there and to show people, the importance of this? I love the fact when he pointed out that you can expand into other areas, which I'm sure your wheels are turning.
Yeah.
I already have a couple other ideas too later.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, for sure.
What can we do?
So, I mean, going back to the whole process, right? People are tired in New York City of the rental process. People are fed up with it. It's frustrating. It's unorganized. So I think showing the value of what we provide, obviously getting brokers and landlords on board and showing, hey, it's free for you to use. You get the renters on board. It will help the process be more seamless. They'll be more organized. They'll be more likely to close on that first apartment. They don't have to chase around 2, 3, 4, 5 different apartments. So I think it's just obviously getting the word out there and showing how we could help renters simplify the process.
I've said for years, and especially when I'm teaching, that, real estate transacting, whether it's buy, sell, rent, is obnoxious in this town. It's laborious. It's complicated unnecessarily, but it's complicated. It takes way too long to do a transaction, okay? And so anything that we can help streamline that, and again, I'm a big believer in, property tech applications moving forward, growing, getting bigger, getting better, because, hey, I want the help too. If there's a way that I can streamline, whatever I have to do in a particular transaction, bring it on.
For sure. And it's free for you to use as a broker, so it'll help you close more deals faster.
There you go. Close more deals faster means I get paid faster. So that
Exactly.
works for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're coming back with my closing thoughts right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
Okay, everybody, we are back with my final thoughts. So the real estate landscape is changing faster than ever, driven by technology and shifting consumer behaviors. Platforms like Clipster and Verify ID are giving buyers, renters, and agents tools to streamline processes, stay organized, and maintain control from their phones. What's clear is that it just isn't about convenience. It's about trust, transparency, and empowerment. Whether it's a fully virtual apartment tour, a secure renter-first document platform, technology is shaping expectations and creating a new standard for the industry. For agents, brokers, and consumers alike, the key takeaway is adaptability. Embracing those tools doesn't replace the human element, it just enhances it, making the process smarter, faster, and safer for everyone involved. The future of real estate will be digital first, but the personal connection will remain central. Those who leverage these innovations while maintaining trust and authenticity are the ones that will drive us into the new era. And that's our broadcast for today. Thanks to my guests for being here on set with me. You can follow me on Facebook, on Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Substack, or TikTok at Vince Rocco. And Karen Kaiser Clark says, life is change. Growth is optional, so choose wisely. And from all of us here at Talking New York Real Estate and the More Network, to all of you all around the world, thanks for spending a part of your day with us. I'm so grateful. Keep thinking the good thoughts, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.